What's going on, y'all? This is Julian, and welcome to my channel where we talk everything credit, business funding, and everything in between. Look, I'm really excited to be here. Look, I'm not gonna waste no more time, so let's get it. Have you ever been told by a cousin, family member, auntie, uncle, dad, mom, whatever, and they told you not to ever get a personal credit card, not to ever get any type of credit card, never to go into debt? Look, I know I have. More times than not, the people who are telling you those things, they have your best interest at heart, but a lot of times they may have went through a bad experience with a credit card, may have gotten to a lot of bad debt, got really behind on their payments, spent a lot of money on interest, and got into a debt that they were not able to get out of. But look, the people who are saying that are the same people who don't know how to use credit cards to their benefit and not their detriment. So they think because they didn't know, you're not going to know how to be able to use credit cards either. But today we're going to be talking about the 3 credit card commandments to make sure that you always follow. You'll never be behind on payment, you'll never be behind on debt, and you'll make sure your credit card is going to be able to be used, be able to get you that 800 plus credit score. So look, I like to break down the credit card commandments that everybody should always be following into 3 commandments. First one, only charge on the credit card what you already have in cash. A lot of people think when they get a credit card, it's free money, right? People think if you got a $10,000 credit card, you got $10,000 in free cash that you're able to spend on anything that you want. That is a negative, despite what a lot of these credit card companies try to make you believe back on these college campuses. Whatever you use on this credit card is money that you have to spend back. The money on the credit card should be seen as a loan, right? With any type of loan, you're expected to pay back, right? So what we want to do is make sure whatever we borrow, we're always going to be paid back in full. There's a lot of people who think that, okay, look, I got $10,000. I'm going to use $5,000 of it. I'm going to pay back $2,000 now and then pay back $100 every month. If you have the cash already, that's probably one of the worst things you could do. A lot of people think that just because the credit card companies are not making me pay everything at once, that I'm just going to pay a little bit over time because in the end, I like to have this cash in my bank account, right? And if I keep the cash in my bank account, I'm saving money. But no, y'all, we have to start thinking about something called interest. Interest is basically the fee that credit card companies are charging you for lending you their money. And for every month that you don't pay back whatever you borrow, they're going to be compounding that interest rate month after month after month. So the higher the interest rate is, the higher amount of fee that they're going to be charging you for the money that you don't pay back on a monthly basis. So say you got a $5,000 personal credit card and you only got $2,000 in cash. There should be no reason why you're maxing out that personal credit card when you only got $2,000 to pay it off. We should only be charging on the card what we have to be able to pay back at the end of the month. And by doing this, we're basically begging the credit card companies to charge us interest every month. So all in all, only charge on the card what you have in cash. If you only have $2,000 in your bank account, at most $2,000. Commandment number 2, you want to make sure you pay your credit card off every week, not every month, every week. For me, one of my first cards was a Bank of America card. Started off with about $8,000. And when I first got the card, I used the card just how a lot of other people in this world use credit cards. Use it for all my expenses, food, gas, groceries, a lot of consumer items. And I would only pay back the minimum amount every month. So I started thinking, why am I choosing to pay interest every month, especially if I already have the cash in my bank account? Then I started thinking, why am I only paying what is due at the end of the month? So I started thinking like a bank. I started thinking, if I let my friend $200, would I be okay with them paying a little bit over time? No, I would rather them pay it back in full, whatever they got the money to do it. So why wouldn't the banks and credit card companies think the same thing? And that's why, if you can, I highly suggest you pay your credit cards off in full every week, not just once a month, every week. And paying off whatever you borrow once a week as opposed to 4 times a month, you're maximizing and improving your relationship with that bank or that credit card company, and you just come off as more trustworthy. So remember that Bank of America card I was referring to earlier? So what I did, I started paying my credit card off in full every Wednesday. I made sure I set an alarm on my phone and my computer that reminded me to go into my Bank of America online account and make sure I pay off whatever I use for that week on Wednesday. So by maximizing how many times per month I'm paying off this card and making payments, over a year span, my credit limit jumped from $8,000 to $21,300. simply because I paid multiple times per month. So look, if you have the cash, always pay off your credit cards in full as many times as possible throughout the month. And finally, 3, setting up automatic payments. And I don't know about you, but I like to automate my life. I don't like thinking about anything. I don't like remembering anything. I hate writing things down. So if I have an option for a robot or an AI system to remember to pay things off for me, why wouldn't I do that? And that's what automatic payments do. As a business owner, as somebody who's doing so many different things, the last thing I want to do is try to remember the due date or the statement date of my credit card to make sure that I pay everything on time, right? And the last thing I want to do is have a late payment on my credit report. Which is what I do. I go on my mobile app or I go on my computer and make sure I enable the option to have them pay off my credit cards for me. So you should at least have automatic payments for the minimum amount, which is 1 to 2% of whatever you borrow. But look, by automating your payments, you're not going to have to think about anything. You're never going to have a missed payment. You're going to be paying on time every month. The bank and the credit card companies are going to love you for it. But look, those are my top 3 credit card commandments that have helped me be able to get my credit scores over 800. I've been able to maximize my credit limits on all my personal cards. Because of my built up reputation of paying things off on time, I can make sure I go to the bank and get nothing less than $10,000 every single time. And look, I know you're going to be able to do it because I've been able to do it myself. And this is something I've seen repeatedly over and over and over again from all of my clients. I want you to follow these 3 commandments to a T. Let's review. 1, only charge on your credit card what you already have in cash. 2, pay your credit cards off in full every week as opposed to once a month. And 3, set up automatic payments so you don't have to think about it. Automate your life, y'all. But look, until next time, signing off, let's get it.